In this video, I'm going to be talking about why businesses are much better than being a sports athlete long term. Now, I'm not going to lie, fellas. For most of us guys, in terms of averages and, a bit of common sense too, these sports guys, the beginning, you win, right? And I say that because, they knew what they wanted to do with their lives from young, from childhood, right? So they, whatever sport they play it. Let's assume they started at like 6. I saw some statistic on the internet saying it takes 12 years to be successful, right? Cool. So you start at 6, right? All right. 18, you get your big break. So 12 years, right? So you get your debut, you make your first million that same year. Someone else was 6 years old, the average guy, the everyday guy, just getting by and just being a normal kid as, most children are. You get to 18, and similar to me, it's like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? So many men have that question too. And so during this 12-year period, the teenager from about, let's say, 18 to 30 gets the most of his money. You tend to see it all the time. The top athletes, the top performances, the top highlight reels, the most spoken, tends to be from, 18 to 30 for a sports athlete, wherever I feel that may be, whether that be basketball, boxing, football. They tend to reach their athletic peak, with a common term which is said in sporting contexts around those ages, especially late 20s. They really start to thrive. Then 30s onwards, it starts to drop off a bit now. Don't get me wrong, guys. 30 is very young for a man. 30-year-old is a young guy. But in the context of sport, not really. Why did I say this book? Well, you got your super fast 18, 20-year-olds who, fresh out of the graduations of school, they're full of energy. It's going to be very hard to compete against those guys. And they're full of testosterone too. They're aware the life-changing money they can make for their families' lives. It's going to be very hard to compete with. Of course, you got the veterans, which I just described. They got the experience too. It's going to be hard, man. You know. And that's why I say that. So they're going to make the biggest chunk of money, probably from around ages of 18 to 30, man. And you, as the average guy, me, you may see that you may feel discouraged. You may see a 24-year-old footballer making big bank, maybe 10 million a year. You may be 24 years old, working at a co-op shop or a warehouse job or a factory job, trying to put money on board. Nothing wrong with that. It's not me making fun of you. The problem is when you compare. So you're thinking, oh, I'm 24 years old, I'm not making shit. This guy's making big bank. And then you're going to think maybe I should rush. But when you rush, you make short-term decisions which aren't wise. See where I'm coming from? That's the pain. Because you're still in your 12 years, right? What you're going through, right? That phase from 18 to, not even 18 to 30. Let's be nice, because most people don't make their business at 18. Let's say, let me be nice, let me be generous. Let's say about 25 years old, right? Some time passed, you put money on the board. You actually have money to invest now because businesses do cost money to invest. So let's say you're about 25. Let's say we worked in the workforce for some time, right? So we got our 12 years now, 25, 37. Type on the internet and don't use regular men as an example because they're out of shape. They're not part of the male advantage. Common theme Chris Dummy talks about. First one, you should know him. But for them, the regular average guy, 12 years in his business, 25, 37, starts to reach his peak. Great stuff, beautiful stuff, So that's their version, their equivalent of. Then I have a camera died. Oh, back. So that matters. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, the guy from about 25, 37, that would be their equivalent of the athlete's peak from about 18 to 30. And they make the most money. So now the athlete's retired, and now the roles reverse. Now you're making the most money. You're getting into your stride. And he had his stride, man. And I'm sure he's made the money from the sport. But in terms of life peak, is not going to be as good as it once was career wise. It's very hard to compete when literally everyone's screaming your name in an arena. Everyone's talking about how much money you make. CPN, SPN, whatever it's called, those boxing companies, or those football associations too. You won't be as big as that anymore. You won't be that super famous guy everyone knowing you in public and whatnot. They may know you as an ex-footballer, yeah, but it's like, what are you doing now, So that's what I mean. So they're not, it's probably still be making a lot. but not as much as what those football contracts are paying because they had their peak early in terms of earning years. For the average guy, most of us guys are pretty broke and we're just struggling to make ends meet, trying to put something together. Making a business takes time, especially when you're not from a rich background. You don't have a trust fund or anything like that. You have to go to that job and put that money on yourself. I respect it. And for most of the everyday guys, probably going to take us to like 30 to where we start making, the good money. That's the equivalent of, a rich sports athlete. See where I'm getting from? I hope I'm making sense. And that's why, and I feel for the trap of comparing and whatnot. I don't compare anymore because I know I've got my own journey. And none of us should be comparing anyway. None of us should be comparing. Comparison really is the thief of joy and it invokes envy. Envy starts to become bitter of the person, you know? Whether that be a friend, family, it's never good to envy, man. It's one of the seven deadly sins, and it is for a reason. So you start to envy, bro. You start to belittle someone else's success. You don't even see the success. You know, the thought of them just infuriates you. It's not a good mindset to have. So yeah, man. This is why I believe business is better because long term, um, towards the end, you can literally do business until you die, bro. Whereas in the sporting industry, primarily talking about the super famous sports tend to be the most physically demanding ones, right? So I'm primarily talking about those ones especially. And as high as they pay, there's kind of like a limited window, right? You have to be young. They desire young people, and I hear it because you got the most energy when you're young and strongest during those ages. It's not really used from the business world. Physical attributes, not honestly like BT or something like that. Don't know what that was. Especially like a PT or something like that. But in the big world, the tech stuff like that, just technology in general, it's like, bro, that's scalable. Shit, that lasts forever, man. Like, you can literally do that till you die. That's why, type in billionaires on the internet. You see so many old billionaires because those are skills that can be used to the end of time. It really can be used to the end of time. So that's why I personally believe business is better. And it also gives you some hope. You realize, oh, I have many decades on the clock. When you're a sports athlete, there's kind of this unspoken pressure, because the timeline is such a short career. You know, you only have like 12 years in your athletic peak, whereas a business dude, they have decades, and they have more time. So there's not this need to rush. I remember once I wanted to be a boxer, right? And reality here, I knew it wasn't gonna happen. I didn't even have the money to go to a gym and whatnot. Like even I still box now for self defense. I enjoy it, but I was thinking, man, truly and heart, I really don't want to do this as a career. I don't want to get punched in the face for a living. And plus, I can't pay for the fucking amateurs and getting signed up. That's hard enough. I accepted that. That ship sailed. It's not gonna happen. So I'm also looking on the business side of things. Want to be a businessman, and that's lifetime stuff. So even let's say I don't. I mess up for like 7 years. It's like, bro, I still have like another 50 years on me, you know? Whereas if I were an athlete, probably wouldn't get into stuff, you know? I mean, some careers you can get into sport pretty late. Like boxing, like, so I like about boxing, you can get in pretty much any time. But let's say a sport like football, they're not going to accept you. They like you young. Pause, no Drake. No do this shit. But I hope you get the picture. This is why I personally believe business is better than sports long term. Now, the big mashup combination, which is best to have, and it's what I'm working towards. Well, I'm already fit. So I guess I kind of got half of that down. But it's being fit and being a rich businessman. That's a good position to be in. I'm working towards that. But yeah, this is just my take as to why I think business is better than sports as a career, and especially long term. The whole reason, purpose thrives on longevity. You know, because when you're like career ends in football, it's like, oh, it's done now. Like you may want to do it, your mind may want to do it, yeah, but your body's crying. Your body's crying to flee, and you have to respect it. You're gonna get a serious injury, and it might um serve as a detriment for life. You know, whereas business, don't to put your health at risk. You know, sport, high risk, high reward. Same with business, but you're keeping your health intact. I think I know which is the better option for me. Don't know about you though, but I know what I want. That's not me making fun of you. The problem is, I'm gonna sneeze. Ah, shit. Ah, kept in. That's not gonna be on camera. The problem is when you compare.